disc golfers, welcome back to Caddy Chat with Jake and Josh, episode 21. We're live on the course this week to give you a preview of the West Coast Cup courses. We're here on course number 1, Leprechaun Hollows.
Yeah, Leprechaun Hollows, the highest par, the most trees, and the most technical of the 3 courses, but also the most scoreable. So it's a great starting course to make some separation and see what's going to happen.
Absolutely. So we're going to be touring you through a couple of the holes we went over on last week's podcast, along with a couple tricky OB situations, and yeah.
And a new redesigned hole.
Yes, brand new hole. This is your first look ever. So
yeah.
If you're playing the tournament, this is the only look you're going to get before you tee off. So this would be a smart watch for you.
And if the weather holds, you can come practice Friday night.
So we'll see about that.
Yeah.
TBD. All right, enjoy the episode. We look forward to showing you off.
Okay, hole 2 is where we're going to start our little preview today. This is a redesign. We've moved it back. Jake moved it back about, 80 feet maybe? So the hole measures now at 400 feet, and it's a par 4 now. So smart play would be to put it about halfway down that fairway. You can see how tight that is. Once you get to that corner where you hit that wall of trees, it banks to the left only about 15-20 degrees for another 150, 200 feet, and then curves back to the right again into the basket. So in one sense, if you're really precise and off to the right side, you could throw a straight shot to it, but the trees will probably not allow that. So I'm going to try first a leopard 3, kind of flip it up to flat and let it float down the fairway and hopefully land somewhere in the middle. We'll see. That corner is about 225 to 250 feet. I might have already said that. Pretty lucky kick. Looks like it's in the middle. So I'll get a little more aggressive with this old flippy star Valkyrie and really try to pump it down there. That was utter garbage, so I won't do that during the tournament.
All right, so you saw what Josh did with the right-hand backhand. I'm going to go forehand. It is an S shape. Technically could line up for a forehand if you have power at 400 feet. It's asking for a lot of trouble if you're trying to get all the way to the pin here for your eagle, but I'll try it on my second shot. My first shot's going to try and get to the landing zone. In my mind, the landing zone is about at, when you step up here, you'll see some stumps about 200 feet off the fairway. That's kind of what I'm landing for, because that'll give me a 200-foot upshot with another zone forehand. So that's what I'll throw first. So that one tailed off to the right at the end, and that's actually probably going to put me in a bad spot. But that is about the distance I'm going for. I just need to move that left a little bit. All right, aggressive shot. Turned it over a little bit, kicked back out in the middle of the fairway, so a little bit of luck, but we'll take it. All right, so these are the stumps I was talking about. If you can land in this zone, you're 200 feet off the tee, about 200 to go. My nuke got a little lucky, but it ended up right next to these stumps, so it's going to give me a 200-foot forehand approach. And that one is sawed off, and I'm not going to be birdieing this hole.
Prepare to be entertained. I'll save my par. Okay, so Jake and I both were really fortunate to be at least close to the fairway on our drives. So technically speaking, we've got decently easy par saves, but we'll see. There's still a little bit of work to be done from the right side of the fairway here. We'll see if we can get it up there. That should do it.
All right, so like Josh said, we were just slightly off the fairway, but this is really the ideal landing zone if you're playing for par. Pitch up to the stumps, pitch up to here. You'll have a long look at a birdie potentially, and you should be guaranteeing a 4. So because I'm close enough, I'm going to try and run this for fun. And there we go. Fun shot for you guys to start everything off. Alright, here we are, hole 5, Leprechaun Hollows. First one we're going to show you today. 350 feet, but it is a par 4. So this pine tree you can see to the right of this tight little gap, that is the Mando. There will be a sign on it for the tournament, so don't worry about that. You'll know which tree is the Mando tree. You got to be left of that. The hole kind of bends left to right, pushes far to the right, and then pushes straight again to a little island grassy green. Yeah, only about 350 feet away, but definitely a par 4. So you've really got two choices. You can get super aggressive off the tee with a ready forehand or a turnover and try and push as far up as you can, but you bring the trees more into play there with a bad kick. Or you can kind of lay up to the little sand pit landing zone about 120 off the tee. So I'm going to show you both those shots. Hopefully they work out. We'll go short layup first. Alright, so I hung that out a little bit left, but it got to the landing zone, so we'll take it. This one's going to be more aggressive. And that's what can happen. So I did make the Mando, but I did hit early, and we're going to be in a tough situation to even save our par from here, so we'll see what happens.
Jacob showed you the layup play. I'm just going to go aggressive 2 ways. I'm going to go with the Charger and the Roadrunner. Surprise, surprise. We'll do Charger first. And that's a horrible shot. That's going to be a really tough par save. So what we really want to do is get as far right as possible. That actually got a fantastic kick to the right, so that should be in the fairway. There's kind of 2 fairways down there actually, a left and a right, and I think I'm on the right fairway, so we'll see.
Alright, so my second shot, my aggressive shot landed here. I made the Mando, but I'm still only 150 off the tee. And if you look straight ahead at where the basket is, you can't even see the basket. There's a wall of trees. So here's the left-hand side that I could take. I can theoretically try and go up hole 4's fairway now that I made the Mando as well. But I'm in complete jail, so we'll see what happens here. We'll try and throw a roller and see if we get lucky. I'm going up hole 4's fairway though. So I actually think I made it out. And we might have an upshot for a par, but don't land there. Alright, so here's where my zone landed, right in this little sand pit landing area. I'm halfway to the hole. I've kind of got my choice. I can try and fit through these trees on the left, or take the more main fairway on the right and throw a little soft hyzer, kind of glide it out there. The big thing with this pin location is it's on that island green, so the gravel and the roads surrounding it are out of bounds. So I definitely don't want to land on that area because it plays as a river. So it is a little bit risky. I could lay up and guarantee a 4 at this point, or I can get aggressive, and since we're not playing for anything, I'm going to get aggressive. And my aggressive shot turned into a layup, and we're still in position for par.
Alright, so I got extremely lucky here with that kick to the right. I'm right on the right fairway. I've got a pretty open shot over that gravel. Just need it to fade back into the basket. So I'll try that with a pig. About 175 feet. Should be butter. Yeah. Easy birdie. With a little bit of luck.
All right, so I'm not much farther than Josh's initial drive here with my get lucky roller after my bad tee shot on the aggressive tee shot. But I'm still in play for a potential par here. So I'm not laying this up by any means. I'm trying to get on the green and save my 4. I'm going to throw it out to the left and let it fade in. Hit the pin, so that'll be a 4. All right, Josh is parked for birdie. I'm parked for par. We'll take it. That is a good result on this hole.
Okay, although there's a couple of opinions about what a signature hole is at Leprechaun, in my opinion, this is at least one of the signature holes. 440 foot, par 4. You can see it's a pretty tight tunnel all the way down to the end of the trees. There's about 310, 350 feet. And then it takes a 45-degree turn to the right for about another 100 feet. So the key here is to stay clean. There is a Mando. You might be able to see the pink tape up there on that pine tree. That's just to keep people from going out over the road and over hole 10 to put other people in danger. So it is a safety issue. So keep it straight, keep it clean, and you should at least be able to get a pretty easy par here. So let's see what we can do. All right, so I'll try one aggressive play and one safe play. I'll do the safe play first with the Buzz SS, and then we'll use a Leopard 3 to try to pump one down to the end of the alley here. And that's not just safe, that's actually a pretty good shot. I would take that all day. Now a little more aggressive, trying to really get it down there. And I missed the Mando. Yep, I missed it. So there's a drop zone right next to that tree, and that would be a pretty hard par save, but we'll see what we can do.
All right, Josh showed you the nice safe play and how to miss the Mando, so I'm going to show you, hopefully, how to rip one down there and potentially, if very lucky, get a long eagle look. Okay, so that got caught up at the end there in the guardian trees, but that's going to put me in position for a very good look at birdie.
Okay, so here we are at the drop zone. It's a pretty punishing drop zone because now I'm shooting for my birdie. I'm trying to get up and down for par, but it's still about 300 feet, and we still got to make that turn to the right. So I'm going to do my best to save par and throw an Avenger SS and see if we can hit that gap up there about 250 feet down the fairway. Honestly, not the worst result. I probably have a 50-foot putt for my par save. So we'll see how that turns out. Now we'll go see how the safe shot turned out. Okay, so here's the safe shot. It's the Buzz SS. We're in a great position where we can still try to get aggressive and get the birdie. But if we miss and we hit some trees, we can still get up and down for par. So this might be my play this year for league. We'll see. I'm going to throw the Buzz SS again and try to hit that basket. Holy balls. That was actually a pretty good shot. I think we're parked.
All right, so this is where my drive landed. We're about, I don't know, 90 feet or so from the pin. Should be an easy pitch up to guarantee a birdie. Even the green is slightly uphill. The basket's on a little bit of a slope. So we should have a little bit of a soft run at it too if we want. If you take a look over here to the right, Josh's drop zone shot is still in a tough spot. He's maybe 15 feet in front of me, so he's still got 75 feet to the pin, at least, heavily guarded. He's looking at a bogey there, most likely. So, drop zone is tough. Try and stay clean off the fairway for sure. Gave it a soft run, but that'll be a guaranteed birdie.
Right, so as you can see, Jake got up and down for his birdie. Nice little drop in for him. With my safe shot, I also got up here for my birdie. Worth noting, since we're right next to the road, this road is not actually out of bounds. The only out of bounds road is on hole 5. And then if we're playing dubs, which we do a couple of times a year, all roads are OB. But for now, the OB line is actually on the other side of the road. On that property line, you can see that row of sticks. So even if you get up here on the road, you're sitting pretty good. And let's go check out the next one.
All right, so we're here on hole 9. Again, arguably a signature hole out here because of these 2 trees, the 2 demon trees. They sit less than 4 feet apart, about 50 feet, 50, 60 feet off the tee pad. And yeah, if you don't beat them off the tee shot, your hole gets a heck of a lot harder. This one's a par 4, 390 feet. And there's multiple ways to attack this hole. Josh will show you 2 different ones than me. I'm going to throw a hyzer flip with a forehand, push up there up the right side, try and glide it left around the center tree, push as far up as I can, finishing right. And then I'm also going to throw a layup shot into this first landing zone in front of the thicker tree that you can see in the center of the fairway. So we'll start with the hyzer flip. Okay, so I beat those trees, but I did not beat the edge of the fairway, and that is going to be a nasty shot that I probably won't even play, and that's a guaranteed bogey at best, potentially worse. So here's a safer shot. And that one basically guarantees that I'm in the landing zone and still very much in position to play for a par.
All right, I'm going to try the right-hand backhand with something understable to try to get it through this gap. A Roadrunner, of course. And then I'm going to show you a mid-range flick roller with the buzz, which I've actually only tried a couple of times, so no promises. But I know I've seen other people do it, so it's possible. Also worth noting that this is an elevated basket. When we get up there, you'll see it. It's probably 12 feet off the ground. And my goal is to get it in between those 2 hills, if you can see it down there with that tiny pine tree. That's ideal, but also very difficult. So, super happy with that. I will take that. Now the old flick roller with a mid-range. We'll see what happens. The key to rollers, by the way, is not to throw them very hard. That's over by Jake's, and we will never see it again on film.
All right, so here's where my layup shot landed. Actually pushed a little bit farther past the landing zone than I wanted. However, we're more than halfway to the hole and very much still in play for par. So we're going to try and flex one up there with the forehand zone, put it in play for a birdie. But again, like Josh mentioned on the tee pad, this basket is quite elevated, so you've got to be relatively close to have a legit run for the bird. So we'll see what happens here. And that's a problem. So we're now working hard for our par, but it is still in play.
Okay, so this turned out about as good as it could have. You can see I got to the top of this first hill. I was trying to be down maybe another 20-30 feet, but I rarely expect it. That's just the goal. You can see the basket from here. I've got a few different options of trying to go wide and get a skip up toward the basket, or trying to go straight up the gut. I grabbed the disc to go straight up the gut, but I just changed my mind now that I'm standing there. I'm going to throw a T-bird and hope to get a nice skip flare off the driveway. Ten feet from the basket.
Alright, so even after hitting a tree 50 feet in front of me, as I tried to push up there for birdie, I'm still in the opening pocket right in front of where Josh landed with his drive. So still very much in play for a par here. I'm going to hang it out over the road, let it hyzer in, try and use the driveway as a skip if needed, and put it right underneath the basket. A little long and deep, but we'll have a look at it from 20-25. Alright, I'm putting for par here on the elevated basket. You can kind of see it. This is the short side, still about 7-8 feet in the air. The back side is closer to 10 or 11, so you definitely don't want to be down there. But this is a tough putt to try and save par. I think if I was playing for birdie here, I might even lay up and guarantee a par just so nothing squirrely happens. The other thing to note, I am only 4 or 5 feet from the OB line, which is on the back side of the driveway here, runs along the tree line similar to hole 7, or sorry, hole 8. It runs all the way along here, so I was actually pretty close and pretty fortunate to stay in bounds. Alright, so I was able to save a par. We'll take it.
Alright, hole 11. It's about 225, 230 feet. You can see it's a double mando. A lot of people confuse this for a triple mando, but you can certainly go left if you want. It's a double mando. You have to make it over the fence, and you have to be left of that tree. So if you slide through the fence or under the fence, you're going to a drop zone. This is also an island hole. So you have to be within the rectangle of the fence line, and then pushed up towards the basket. There's another little protruding rectangle, kind of an island. The basket's not on the island, but it extends the inbounds a little bit past the basket. So first I'm going to try, for those of you who don't have a sidearm, I'm going to show you that you can at least get it over the mando, I hope, with a sidearm. Just a nice easy pitch up, get your par, and then I'll try my normal shot with a turnover comet. So first, nice easy flick with something fast and overstable. And I missed the mando. Did not make it over the fence. Good times. I think that barely stayed in bounds, but yeah, a little more turn on that one. You can see it's pretty tight even after you get over that fence. I mean, there's those two trees to try to work between, so it's really easy to push it long on this one, and it's really easy to hit a tree. So trying to keep it safe is the best. You actually probably wouldn't go wrong if you just threw a putter over the fence and had a nice easy upshot to save your par. It's a good play for this hole.
Alright, so like Josh said, you got to be over the fence in order and left of this tree to avoid the drop zone, but there is OB past it. However, if you go OB beyond the fairway, you get to take your drop from where you went out of bounds. So because it's a narrow green, I'm going to get aggressive here. That way if I go OB next to the basket, I will still have inside circle 1 putt to save my par. And if I stay in bounds, I'm tapping in for birdie. So I'm going to throw aggressive with a reaper, try and ace run, and then throw a little bit shorter, try and park it with the Buzz OS. Alright, so the reaper ended up parking the hole, so now we get to ace run with the Buzz OS as well. that one's high, but it got lucky. Made the Mando in bounds. We'll take a par on that one.
Okay, so that first one went OB, so I'm going to demonstrate the drop zone. You can see there's almost no way to save your par from this drop zone. So you're really just trying to get it close in order to save your bogey from here. You can go out and around again and have either a long turnover or maybe a flick to get up there. But I'm just going to go right up the gut. I don't know if you can see that from there, but I got a straight shot of the basket and I'm going to try it. Because why not? And that'll be a long, long bogey save. Okay, so that drop zone shot actually landed in this garden that's identified by these rocks, and this is casual relief. And so the casual relief is actually straight out from where the disc is. So we'll take that relief, hand a meter. So here I am trying to say bogey from that horrible Miss Mando drop zone shot. OB again. One hole. Okay, so this is a great example of why you might just want to throw a putter off the tee and take your par. A short little 225-foot hole, and now I'm putting for 6. So play it smart. This one can really get you. Triple bogey.
Alright, so we're here on hole 14, par 3, a little shorty, about 210 feet. Dead straight, maybe a slight tail to the left at the end. This fence riding along the whole right side is out of bounds, as well as the big tree there on the right. That is a Mando, you have to be left of it. Any shot off the tee on this hole, new rule this year, you proceed to the drop zone, which is directly left of the Mando, right at the end of the gravel there. You'll see it when we walk up there, if one of us throws OB. There's also out of bounds about 20-25 feet deep of the pin, if you can see the line of logs behind it. That is also playing as OB this year. Again, if you go OB off the tee, you automatically go to the drop zone. Alright, so I demonstrated that well for you guys. I'm OB off the tee, so I will be throwing from the drop zone.
Alright, so I usually go back and forth every other week whether I'm going to throw something understable or overstable. So I'm going to demonstrate it with a pig, my overstable, and I actually grabbed the wrong disc. I'm going to try it with a Comet as well. But let's try the pig first. And although that went left, that's not a horrible shot. I'll grab that Comet and see if we can't get an ace. Or we'll go to the drop zone with Jake.
Alright, so right here off to the side you can see the Mando tree. Right in line with the Mando tree you can see the drop zone. Josh and I both went out of bounds. I'll be the only one throwing from the drop zone because you don't need to see it twice. It is within range, it's just outside circle 2, if not inside circle 2, so it is within range to save a par. But definitely a tough shot still. Alright, so turned into a layup for bogey.
So my overstable play, the pig, landed right here. We got about 35-40 feet. You can see I threw an angry second or third shot and parked it, but this isn't a bad spot to be. If you accidentally fade left and miss left, that's not a problem. It's a lot better than going right over that fence. So see if we can still clean up a birdie here. The answer is no. All right. Hole 16 is the signature hole at Leprechaun Hollows. It's an island green. The island's about 30 feet front, back, and right. On the left, you've probably only got 15 to 20 feet. That fence is OB as well. So elevated basket. This one is a Grip 6 sponsored ace for league. So anytime you get an ace here, you're going to get a Grip 6 belt plus the ace pool. And everybody's trying to go for it. But don't be deceived. It can be a very difficult 140 feet, especially with some wind. So I'm going to ace run it a couple times. OB.
And what does OB mean, Josh?
No drop zone, so you will take it. Oh no, I'm sorry. Shoot, OB is a re-tee. So, yeah, this one can get up there too. But a pretty good recovery.
Alright, like Josh said, if you miss the island, you re-tee. So it's really not worth ace running unless you're in an emergency situation, which hopefully you are not in round one of a 3-round tournament. So I'm going to do the smart play. I'm going to hang it out right, dump it in, and hopefully tap in a birdie. Hung it out a little far to the right, but
is that in?
It's in the circle, so we'll be putting for our 2. All right, so I did sneak inside the island here, so I'm putting for my 2, about 20, 25 feet or so. Good birdie luck on this hole. And I tried to bank it off the tree, apparently. I took a par on a hole that I kind of want a birdie on, but I did make the island, so I didn't bogey.